Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Oktafiani Kusuma Putri, and today I'm going to explain about language acquisition, nativism, behaviorism, cognition. First is language acquisition. Language acquisition is the process where humans acquire the language. Theory of acquisition have two important components. First is competent factors, and second is performance factors. Competent factors is the psychological of how the child learning the language, more specifically how the rules of grammar are developed and contribute in the development of language. And second, performance factors, that's about how the child comprehend and produce the language. Next is three principles in the theory of acquisitions. First is lexical principle. Lexical principle is the principle about how child learns about a separate lexical item or how child learns a language word by word. Second is generalization principles. It is the part where the child learns about the rule or structure or grammar. And last is uniqueness principle. It is the principles that tell about the language acquisitions where the child will only choose one form that they use in their linguistic environment. Next is Nativism. One theory is Nativism, whose pioneer is Chomsky, 1975. Chomsky believes that this theory facilitates the process of first language acquisition, and children do not acquire the principles of a language which are common among all language, but he is born with the knowledge of these principles, and they are part of his genetic. Therefore, Chomsky concludes that these universal features are part of a child's genetics, and the child is born with an inborn knowledge of universal grammar. And last is behaviorism. Another theory is behaviorism. This story is about child language development. Behaviorism deals with behavioral changes and the role of environment in these changes. Behaviorists believe that speaking a language is a skill, and there is no difference between speaking a language and other behaviors. Watson, 1924, believed that language is a simple behavior. Behaviorists emphasize linguistic behaviors and try to find a relationship between response and stimuli which have an environmental origins. From a behaviorist point of view, an effective linguistic behavior is a correct response to a stimulus. If a specific response is reinforced, it changes into a habit or is conditioned, and therefore children repeat those reinforced linguistic response. Or in other words, language is about the behavior of the child, the response, and the stimuli. I think that's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.